Hello and welcome to the Hidden History series. In this episode we will discuss Father Christmas or Santa. How and where has this narrative come from? The story of Father Christmas has become a fabricated and an inverted construct, but the concept of Yule and Christmas are most certainly an elevating time of the year because of the winter solstice happening on the 21st of December. But the contemporary version of Christmas in the modern period is now become about an overweight human dressed in red and white, flying around on a sleigh that is navigated by 9 reindeer. And in the early hours of the 25th December, the overweight looking Father Christmas then goes down chimneys, eats mince pies and a glass of milk before leaving Christmas presents for sleeping children. What is this actually symbolising? Saint Nicholas is the Eastern Orthodox bishop who inspired the concept of Father Christmas. He was born as Nicholas Theophanu in southwestern Turkey during the time of the Roman Empire. Because of the miracles St. Nicholas apparently performed, he also became known as Nicholas the Wonder Worker. His reputation evolved among early Christian saints, and his legendary habit of gift giving then gave rise to the Christian folklore of Santa Claus or Saint Nick. In the Christian tradition, the phrase Old Nick referred to the devil or Satan. The word devil originates from the Greek language in the form of divolos and means slanderer or accuser. The word Satan originates from the Hebrew language in the form of shatan and means the adversary or the opponent. So where did the concept of an overweight Caucasian dressed in a red and white suit coming down a chimney originate from? Until around the 31st of December 1881, Father Christmas originally dressed in green to represent a Dutch sailor. Even though it has never been confirmed, the transition from the greenish Father Christmas to a reddish Father Christmas was believed to have occurred because of the brand Coca-Cola. From the 10th of December 1892 and onward, the Salvation Army sent unemployed male Americans dressed in red and white suits to give presents to the homeless infants on the streets of New York and elsewhere. They would ring bells on street corners and gather donations to feed poor families in the suburbs of New York City. The cultural influence of St. Nicholas was taken into the United States of America towards the end of the 18th century, with the New York Journal and the New York Gazette, or the Weekly Postboy in New York City during 1773, reporting Dutch settlers gathering in honour of the death of St. Nicholas. In the newspapers, they also introduced the name Santa Claus. So Father Christmas was not celebrated before this time in the United States of America. With the inception of the Industrial Age and the New World Order, was Santa Claus the 21st century icon, almost like a commercial version of the Lord Jesus Christ, feeding the infants with consumer goods? Was Santa Claus a Christmas icon which had been contrived to deceive the minds of the American people into obeying some kind of subversive indoctrination for the benefit of the capitalists and the industrialists? The name Santa Claus developed from the phrase Sinterklaas, which is shortened form in a Dutch language of Sint Nicolaas. That itself is Dutch for Saint Nicholas. But the name Santa could also be an anagram for the word Satan. Both Santa and Satan are connected. They both have reddish hues, complexions and facial hair. Along with this, both Santa and Satan are said to know when human beings are sleeping or are fully awake, and if they have been well behaved or committed sinful acts. John Pintard was a member of the New York Historical Society during 1804. He distributed woodcuts of St. Nicholas at the annual meeting of the New York Historical Society. The background of the engravings contained images of Santa Claus and Christmas stockings filled with toys and fruit hung over a fireplace. So was this kind of a social engineering in the United States intended to program the populace with this version of Christmas so the American people consume the products of the Industrial Revolution? During November and December in 1809, Washington Irving helped to popularize the narratives of Santa Claus when he referred to St. Nicholas as the patron saint of New York City in his book, The History of New York. So many of the American people were programmed with this version of Father Christmas. It wasn't until 1820 shops began to promote the concept of Santa Claus. So by December 1840, with the inception of the Industrial Age, Santa Claus had become a Christmas icon who shuffled down chimneys with his sack of presents to give to children. So why and how has this concept come about? As we all know, Father Christmas never fitted down the chimney. So what story is this planting in our subconscious? In the midway area of the human brain, you have something called the claustrum. That is a sheet of neurons and glial cells, which makes a substance called chrism that flows into the body. This is another possible origin of Santa Claus because the word Klaus is derived from the claustrum. The substance defined as chrism was believed by temple priests to originate from the cosmic heavens and was seen as the gift of life that was linked with the holy claustrum or Saint Claustrum, which then became known as Santa Claus, who resides in the Arctic North Polar region before flying southward. This is why we have Santa Claus coming down chimneys. Santa Claus is effectively descending from the cosmic heavens to bring the gifts of life. At the time of the Industrial Revolution, he was shown to the American people so they could buy into the Industrial Revolution and become programmed. There are many celebrations of Christmas, and one of the more bizarre rituals happens in mainland Europe and is called the Krampus in the Central Alpine folklore tradition. The Krampus is a horned demon figure who visits infants during the night of the 5th of December and is a time called Krampusnacht or Snatch Night, which occurs immediately before the feast of St. Nicholas on the 6th of December. Evidently, this unique-looking horned demon apparently punishes infants at Christmas and puts the parents into chains. This celebration is still celebrated by parading in elaborate costumes during an event called the Krampuslau or Snatch Sprint. Santa Claus is Coming to Town is a Christmas song written by John Frederick Coots and James Lamont Gillespie, written in 1934. When you study the lyrics, it becomes very interesting. He's making a list and checking it twice. Gonna find out who's naughty and nice. He sees you when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake. So an overweight Caucasian in a golden sleigh who comes from the North Pole sees children when they are asleep or awake, making a register of their names and finds out who is naughty or nice. It is a very bizarre song, yet one of the most popular. Every ritual aspect of Christmas is a mixture of customs, but why do we link the Christmas tree with Lapland, located in northern Finland? The cold and wintry climate of Lapland, combined with its abundance of conifer trees such as pines and spruces, means that Lapland has become associated with Yule and Christmas. Does a Christmas tree make our living rooms more natural? The Christmas tree originated from Irish Druidism and British Druidism, when during the winter solstice on the 21st of December, the Irish Celts defined as the An Grianstad, or the shining light stops, or as the Celtic Britons named it as Gulahul Gaif, or winter shining light. Both the Irish Druids and the British Druids would dress broad oak trees, sweet chestnut trees, pine trees, larches and spruces with the organs of various animals. When we bring all of this into the modern day period and look at the Christmas decorations such as baubles, fairy lights, tinsel and jingle bells, the entire ritual of Christmas is entirely synthetic and utterly fake. Pretty much all of the Christmas decorations are made of plastic, and this represents the syntheticness, the fakeness of the 25th of December, when actually Christmas is a time of rejuvenation, peace and reconnecting with your inner self. We can clearly see how this special time has become inverted. Wishing a very Merry Christmas to you all. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and thank you for watching, everyone, and I'll see you soon.